stop the Danville train. But the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. It was Robert Ford, that dirty little coward. I wonder how he does feel. For he ate up Jesse's bread and he slept in Jesse's bed, then laid poor Jesse in his grave. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. Now Jesse was a man, a friend to the poor. He never would see a man in pain. And with his brother Frank, he robbed the Chicago bank and stopped the Glendale train. It was Jesse's brother Frank that robbed the Gallatin bank and carried the money from the town. It was in this very place that they had a little race, for they shot Captain Sheets to the ground. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. It was on a Saturday night and Jesse was home, talking with his family brave. Robert Ford came along like a thief in the night and laid poor Jesse in his grave. Then the people held their breath when they heard of Jesse's death and wondered how he came to die. It was one of the gang called Little Robert Ford that shot poor Jesse on the sly. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But the dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave.
I've always been a libertarian. I'm always going to be a libertarian.
Yeah.
At the same time, when I was criticizing that party, I was also doing the work of door knocking and representing our party as a Senate candidate and running with our brand and putting our brand forward and putting my face on our brand.
The takeover failed.
Would you drop your kids off at a drag queen story hour and come back an hour later?
I mean, would you drop your kids off at a movie? Yeah.
We are just surrounded by such scumbag, duplicitous pieces of fucking shit. And all we're looking for is a little honesty.
It just so happens that Chase's positions comport perfectly with mainstream Democratic Party orthodoxy.
The Libertarian Party, with this move, in supporting open borders and vaccine mandates,
you done messed up, Aaron!
Have just declared to the American people they are non-viable.
Puberty blockers and HRT have been shown to be mostly reversible. Don't try to twist it like I'm some sort of Democrat who's like, everybody go out and get your COVID shot.
You're not gonna fucking win, brother.
Nah.
All I care about is the message and the messenger. Can you convey it in a way that can fucking reignite people's souls? I don't think you fucking can. Take that as a personal challenge.
I got in this party because I was an anti-war Democrat. Give the proof of concept to people that we can punish racists with the free market. I'm a gay man. If you're a homophobe, tell me about it so I don't have to associate with you.
If the Democrats were running Ron Paul, I'd be a Democrat. If the GOP runs Ron Paul, I'm a fucking Republican. If the Libertarian Party runs Ron Paul, I'm a Libertarian. I'm a fucking Ron Paulian. You get it?
I'm calling Reed Coverdell an asshole because he's not a libertarian.
I don't think Chase Oliver is the type of person that's going to get someone to go from, I'm a fucking woke DEI zombie, and now I'm going to start thinking for myself. In fact, I think the contrary. I think you're going to bring in more people that think like that, and then they're going to be maybe a little bit better on fucking economics. Golf clap, dude. And the GOP has ran around talking as if they're Ron Paul and then governing as if they're John McCain. I didn't get into this lying. I didn't get known by lying. I ain't gonna start lying ever. I'm fucking here to tell the truth. That's it. And let me be very fucking clear to the non-Mises Caucus folks that are listening right now. I don't care at all that he's gay.
And I have no doubts that this guy idolizes Joe McCarthy.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he really means that.
You have to stop before they do what I call nastiness.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Whoa, that's quite the music explosion there. Hi, welcome back to the show, the supposedly least comfortable show on the internet. Sometimes we get a little spicy around here. We're pretty bland compared to some these days, but we do our best to make you guys, smile your way through the end of the world at the very least. And I'm Dan Smotz, the host of this, whatever this is, and I take no responsibility for anything that I say over the next 2 hours, and I hope that you enjoy them. I hope they make you think, and I can't think myself with that music going in my ear. Dave is here also, the great and powerful Dave. How's it going, Dave?
It's going great, man. How are you? It's funny you said that. I was thinking that earlier today too, that, that's been your tagline, that it's the most, offensive show on the internet. But I feel like, is it because maybe we're getting older, we're becoming like the moderate conspiracy theorists? Like,
sure.
It's kind of becoming mainstream at this point, right? We're nothing too outrageous, right?
Yeah. If you want some recommendations on good podcasts that are even more edgy than ours, you're gonna have to slide into our DMs because we're not saying them publicly.
No way.
Dave, how's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Doing great, man. Yeah, it's good to be here with you. Beautiful weather outside. Got my dog next to me, chilling. Feeling pretty good about things.
Nice, good old Kiefer.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. Now, we got to first and foremost thank you all in the Downers Club, you beautiful people like Autumn Jacobs, Pangea, Sean Van Beaverhout, Know Something, Kimberly, Meredith, Zanger, JC, Justin, Silas, Joey, Bonnie, Perry, Adam, Andrew, Donald, Matthew, Leah, Danielle, Break the Bell, Stoney, Keith Compston, SDG, Stephen Hartman, Jack Casey, Javari, Craig Something, Howie Snowden, Brian McWilliams, Mary Rome, John Barnhouse, and William Wells. If you want to get your name on that list and have it read incorrectly someday, going over to patreon.com/The System's Down, where you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more generally weekly content. We have been doing it pretty weekly, and I think we're going to keep that trend going today with the extension of Freak of the Week, the continuation of our looking for the freakiest human in the world and judging them all based on every criteria, whether it is palatable to you or not. Go to patreon.com/The System Is Down if you want to hear some mean things and support this show. It's not that mean. You just go pay me to find out for yourself, or assume the worst. Either way is fine. All right, now that's that. I guess I don't have to hit that every time I switch screens, but
I like it.
All right, Dave, there's been a lot going on in the world and a very little insignificant amount of things going on in libertarianism, but we're going to focus on some libertarianism today and how it impacts the rest of the actual, the relevant world of politics.
Sure.
So, before we get into politics, because, I've gotten some criticism over the last few weeks. Basically, just one person said, hey, remember when you didn't focus on politics all the time? And to that I say yes. But here we are in an election year, so go fuck yourself. Yes, I do remember that. Thank you, Chris Farley. Now, we talked about the Olympics a couple of times with their opening ceremonies, their pole vaulters and whatnot, but the Olympics have sadly come to a close, and we're not going to spend too much time on it, but let's just check in with our Olympics folks and see what the latest is going on over there.
The Church of Satan thanked the organizers of the Olympic Games for the magnificent opening ceremony. Peter H. Gilmore supported the organizers and expressed his admiration for the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Peter H. Gilmore called the ceremony a celebration of Epicureanism and freedom from an entrenching divinity. The Church of Satan published an in-depth dissection of the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games on their podcast, Satan's Plane. The podcast highlights the altered Last Supper of Jesus Christ and his apostles. Satan is opposed to God, just as God is opposed to human freedom. This scene shows that France chooses man over following the fettering demands of God.
So, long story short, the Satanic Church, the Church of Satan, there were a lot of people that were offended by the opening ceremony. There were a lot of people that thought it was off color. There were a lot of people that were like, it's not that bad. You guys are overreacting. Then the Church of Satan is over there like, that was fucking amazing. Good job. Gold star, everyone. I mean, you take that however you want. Maybe I'm just reading into it too deeply when the Church of Satan, praises it. It's kind of like when they fought to keep abortion as a spiritual ritual. I think that was in Texas. It's probably just hokey mumbo jumbo, but maybe not. Who knows? What do you think, Dave?
Maybe not. These guys, they still confuse me. Like, I'm not, and I'm sure there's different sections of Satanism, but my feeling or my impression is that most Satanists don't believe in like a deity called Satan. They believe in the absence of God, and you're your own ruler. Yeah, exactly. Do what thou wilt. So it might be just like one of the greatest trolls ever. So like when they applaud, the Olympics, like their goal is to trigger
be that name that no matter what, like kind of like David Duke or something, where he's like, I'm still out here and I'm going to throw my weight around here and there. I know nobody's going to vote in favor of who I say they should vote for, but I'm just going to put it out there just because it pisses people off, like Richard Spencer endorsing Joe Biden last go around, and I think David Duke did too.
Right.
Yeah, brilliant trolls at the very least, but yeah.
Evil at worst. Yeah.
There's also that possibility. Yeah. Now, speaking of evil, we're going to keep moving, and we're going to hop right on over to Britain, because Britain has some cases going on right now that are a little controversial that I think are worth mentioning. Here's a clip from the very serious courtrooms over there in Britain where they still wear the powdered wig.
Went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. This offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. Went on
20 months in prison because somebody had the audacity to say what?
You did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority.
I don't want my money going to immigrants who rape our kids and get priority. That is so egregious that the sentencing had to be carried out immediately. This was just beyond belief. Now, a part of me does wonder, I haven't dug into this that deeply, part of me does wonder if this was like the end of a sentence, a list of other things that he did. Probably not, but if somebody has more information than me, I don't want to, step on a trap here, landmine, by assuming that this is as it looks, but it appears to be somebody being sentenced for a Facebook post, a very benign Facebook post, and if it was like, so in response to you raping those 20 kids, and also there's this Facebook post that you have, we're giving you 20 months. That's a different scenario. So if there's the extended clip, if you have it out there, send it to Dan at tsidpod.com, because I'm just taking this at face value. But we watched the video last week. I think it was in the Freak of the Week section where somebody was getting arrested for a Facebook post there too. So lots of freedom over there. Dave, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts. It's looking like the UK is becoming, much like Canada and Australia during COVID, a total shithole country.
Yeah.
And I'm betting that at least some of them are wishing that they still had something that resembled, or if they ever had something that resembled a Second Amendment. And
they have knives,
yeah,
bro.
Right.
They don't even remember the Second Amendment. They don't remember guns.
Yeah,
have
man.
cutlery over there.
I feel so bad for the people there. But this is the global plan, right? Like destabilize everybody. There will be no like native populations anywhere. There will be no cohesive cultures anywhere, so that they can do everything they want. But just, I hope, I don't know how far behind UK we are, but I don't think that we'll never see that here. I think that we'll see that here. So I hope we have a couple extra decades, thanks to the old 2A. But
Yeah.
bro, we can't let that shit happen here, man. That's the worst shit. That's like the most. Oh, you spoke, and it's not like even, you were kicked off Facebook or you were unpersoned or something like that. It's just like, no, we saw what you said, so you're gonna go to jail. You're gonna go to jail for almost 2 years because you said something, not even like inciting violence, nothing dangerous, just like your opinion.
Yep. You just said, I
pretty
don't
crazy.
like paying for people to rape my kids and get away with it. Like, such egregious atrocities. The flagrant racism in these words are staggering.
Crazy, bro.
Dave, we have a Kamala stinger, right? I know we've done this before.
A stinger?
Yeah, Kamala. We have a Kamala segment video clip.
Oh,
I can't
think
find
yeah,
it.
I've seen that.
I have too.
El Kamala, it's a good one.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh.
What'd you do?
Anyway, flawless transition into our next topic of discussion, Kamala Harris. We're going to jump back and forth on a lot of different things today, but we do got to start out with a little bit of the first black vice president, Kamala Harris. And if we're going to talk about her, we gotta hail it up right. Here we go.
What can be unburdened by what has been,
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President.
Not Trump.
So I think she's not qualified to be President.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day.
This is a fucking joke.
All right, I think we got it. Okay. First black vice president, Kamala Harris. Here's just a little flashback before we get too deep into her, like so many have before.
Too deep?
I stand before you as the first candidate for Vice President of the United States of South Asian descent.
Our dear friend will be the first Indian American Vice President in the history of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
As many of you know, generations of my family come from India. My mother was born and raised in India, and I have family members who live in India today.
Asian Americans are the fastest growing population here in North Carolina, and among that, Indian Americans are driving a lot of that growth right here in the Triangle, drawn to the tech, science, and medical fields. Now, some are hoping to see Kamala Harris make history as the first South Asian in the highest office in the country.
Senator Kamala Harris will be the first person of Indian heritage to be nominated for vice president on a major party ticket.
The first Indian American woman to be nominated as a vice presidential candidate in America.
I just thought this was worth a share.
Of course.
Over the last couple weeks, it's been a lot of race baiting for this woman, and I don't even know what color she is. I don't know what I'm supposed to think or feel anymore.
Look, she's missing out on a real opportunity here. The coolest mix you could possibly be is black and Asian, and just tell people you're Blasian. That's the best.
The first Blasian vice president, Kamala Harris.
Awesome.
Kamala.
Solved it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just worth a share. Now, Kamala has also come out with, I think this might be her first, plan as president. She came up with one great idea, and here's Kamala presenting her first great idea. But before we hear Kamala's first great idea, let's touch in with Trump from June 2024.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips.
This Trump idea is unrealistic.
But here's the actual deal with what Trump is suggesting. All caps tax relief are actually backdoor ways to give rich people big tax breaks.
Smart enough to know the difference between, as they said, real solutions and wild campaign promises from a convicted felon.
It seems a little bit impractical. Out of taxes on tips is just kind of silliness.
The Biden campaign kind of scoffs at this idea as well.
Last night, we saw a big speech in Nevada by Kamala Harris, and she came out for no tax on tips.
And eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Where have I heard that before?
What's that?
She said hospitality.
Hospitality workers, you know.
It's just one of those economic policies that will go to the heart of doing something directly for people that they can feel.
She had a focus on the middle class, and so eliminating taxes on tips will help people that go to work every day and bust their butts to keep food on the table, clothes on their back.
To make America
We're going to make America great again.
Awesome.
I had not seen that.
I see this as an absolute win. This is great.
Oh, is that your libertarian stance, Dave? No taxes?
Well, look, I mean, we can talk about how the corporate media...
some people say that taxation is theft. It's been a long-running thing in the libertarian movement, and that's because taxation is theft. Dun, dun, dun,
Write
dun,
that
dun.
one down. That'll be $1,000.
You were saying? Sorry.
No, that's look, the corporate media is obviously exposed as per usual, is just saying whatever it takes, baby. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Democrats and Democratic voters are stupid people. So I am pro them getting this message, whoever gives it to them. And I don't care if I'll even, I would give a Democrat a high five on that. Yeah, no taxes on tips. And by the way, making tips is a great way that was like one of my first libertarian lessons, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you waiting tables and bartending, if it's merit based, if you're better at your job than your peers, you'll make more money. You don't have to like wait for $1 an hour, raise or something like that. Just be good. And so it's a good system. In the 80s and the 70s, this was like the way that single moms could like raise kids, waiting tables, making cash money. And this is at the bottom end of the economic spectrum, so it's good no matter what. I'm glad that Ron Paul said it first in 2012, and then Trump took it over, and now Kamala Harris is running with the ball. Whoever is, it just sounds like an inevitability at this point, right? We're going to stop taxing.
You would think so, but do you have any concerns about the obvious? I mean, like they're going to give us no tax on tips, but then they're going to tax the shit out of something else, or they're just going to say no more tips allowed, because like no tax on tips, you just got to pay them more, and then don't worry about any tips.
Well, the cool thing too is if again, I know that they're stupid, but if they just take the argument to the next logical step, like, oh, that's great, now poor people will have more money in their pocket because they're not being taxed. Like if you just think about that for a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That might lead to some really great places. Oh, why don't they not tax anybody? Or, just don't tax seniors on their property, or just like the next
go the Maj Touré route.
step.
Or was it Maj, or was it Hotep Jesus? No tax on blacks? I think that's the next thing Kamala should be pushing for. No tax on anybody, and wherever you want to start. I'm down. I am concerned where this goes. I mean, it is nice that we've got, like you said, Democrats now talking about the problems of taxation. We've got Republicans talking about the problems of taxation on the middle class and lower class. But do you think that is this a step in the right direction of liberty, Dave? Is this because the libertarians have been fighting so hard and Chase Oliver set the bar so high as far as policies go that Kamala Harris was like, man, I need to get on this libertarian action, snipe some votes, because that's what Kennedy and Trump are doing?
Maybe, man. I think that the Democrats are trying to paint themselves a little bit in like a populist fashion. And all we get out of these people is rhetoric, and it could be just pandering, and they could all be lying. But
you did have that clip a couple of weeks ago that was like, Kamala Harris ad that was like, Donald Trump is weak on the border. Kamala Harris is fighting to shoot all the illegal immigrants in the face. Donald Trump doesn't support the police. Kamala Harris is a cop to the core. Like, completely about facing on everything that they've said over the last 4 years. And it's like we've got Kamala Harris and Donald Trump fighting over just this this nebulous cluster of, what do people want? I don't fucking know. What can we get? No tax on tips? That worked. I'll do it too. Fine. Like, they're literally just like throwing whatever, the bottom of the barrel shit that they have left. Because I mean, how many presidents can run on a Democratic ticket and say that they're going to give free healthcare, free abortions, free schooling, free all that, and then have none of it come to fruition? So I don't know. It's not a step in a bad direction, at least in this one tiny little area, but I'm not getting too hopeful. I just know that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are going to abolish tax on tips just as likely as Chase Oliver is going to become president and abolish tax on tips. But
oh, come on. More of a chance than that one.
Okay. Well, you might be right there. But I cut you off there, Dave. Did you have anything else before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, funnily enough, Kamala Harris has not always been against taxes on tips. I don't know if you know this, but flashback, I don't know, 2 years? Here's Kamala Harris being the tiebreaker in the vote on making sure that you always have to tax on your tips. Quite specifically, oddly specifically, she was the tie-breaking vote on that. So let's see a bit of that.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
Is there a video on this?
What's that? Oh,
is there a video
shit.
for this?
Yes. Whoops. It's just
because we all want to see it too, Dan.
That's cool. All right, here we go.
50,
one more time.
The nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
All right, yeah, we get it. They also have, like, Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, which hired 87,000 IRS agents and then launched a tip reporting site. Yeah, like, when we've had issues with Kamala Harris in the past, it's like you were a cop who kept people on death row, even though we had evidence to the contrary that you shoved to the wayside, and you kept people in prison to use them as slave labor and other such fun things. But that's like 4 years ago, and that's a little too far outside the zeitgeist now for it to be of any relevance when you're saying abolish the police and also I'm a top cop within the span of 4 years. Now we've got within the span of 2 years, we are absolutely going to always tax you on your tips, and then Donald Trump saying, I'm gonna abolish the taxing on tips, and then, well, we're gonna abolish taxing on tips. We just came up with that. It's gonna be great for you pores.
Yeah, that's really something. You know, like they used to go after Hillary. You know, Trump would go after Hillary when running. You know, when she would make campaign promises, he's like, you know, you were Secretary of State for this many years and blah blah blah. You were there with Bill and you could have done healthcare then and blah blah blah. And that like holds some weight, but like Kamala was literally the tie-breaking vote as the vice president just a couple years ago, like in power. That's pretty audacious of her.
Yeah. But I think the main takeaway from all of that is that Kamala Harris is a libertarian.
Yo, she should come to our convention and sold us on that shit. I would have cheered. Yeah, no tips.
Let's go. We all got this one thing that we're going with.
Yeah.
That and Free and Ross, potentially. The great Joshua Reed Eagle. We brought him up last week, too. I don't know why we're giving this goober so much airtime, but, you know, this hardcore libertarian who was opposed to the Mises Caucus takeover because it was a bunch of right-wingers that were just trying to get Trump installed, and then came out in support of Kamala Harris after he got Chase Oliver as his candidate. But he says, I I come from the libertarian tradition. This is objectively the most libertarian rhetoric I've seen from a major party on the campaign trail since maybe 2012. Yet many of the self-described libertarian operatives on this site are shilling for the guy who's called to deport 11 million people, terminate the Constitution, take the guns first, and slap global tariffs on everything. There's a massive political realignment happening, and it's crazy to watch. And
impeccable impression, dude. Fantastic.
I have no idea what the dude sounds like. I'm not gonna lie.
Just
I
like
only know
that.
him from Twitter, but yeah.
Just like that.
He said that on a quote tweet of this other one, where he shared very libertarian candidate Governor Tim Walz saying this.
Look, you and I, especially the gray hairs in the crowd, we know our relatives. Republicans used to be the people talking about freedom. Not this group. When they talk about freedom, it means that the government should be free to invade your exam room with your doctor.
Your government shouldn't be free to invade your exam room.
I want to know exactly what he's talking about right
It
there.
just seems pretty vague, Mr. Walz. We talked about government invading your exam room when you're chopping off your child's penis, or when you're murdering your unborn baby. Which one? You decide.
Or just those two things. We can cover them.
I feel
those
like
two, but that's not it. That's freedom.
Like that
to do
pretty
those
well
two
sums it up. Yeah.
Look, in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make. We maybe wouldn't make the same choices, but we respect them. And I know in Minnesota and in Arizona and places across this country, you know what makes society work best is when you learn a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. Mind your own damn business.
Somewhere right now, Chase Oliver is going, shit.
Shit. Endorsed.
All the left-wing libertarians might have something here that could win.
Look,
And,
Chase. Let's not mince words, dude. Chase Oliver is watching this, and he's horny right now.
Jerking
this
it.
is 6 to midnight.
Yeah. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, let's. Was that the end of this? And there's a little more.
We don't need it. I don't need you telling me what books to read. I don't need you telling me about what religion we worship. And I
pause it real quick.
Yep.
Well, that's a great dog whistle that Democrats do. Like, I don't need you telling me what religion. They're specifically telling you that they are not Christians.
Right.
That these are godless people.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's not talking about the Muslims or Sharia law. He's not going to criticize Israel or like
Sure.
the Jewish religion, or he's talking about like keep your Christ over there. We're not interested, and we're the party that's not that.
Amen.
Nice dog whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need you to tell me about my family.
How about this? I want to tell you that it's weird when you high five your wife, you fucking weirdo.
Did he do that?
Yeah,
I missed that gem. So what do you think about this, Dave? It's like, if you took this and you put it on a libertarian site and said, this no-name guy, Mr. Tim Walz, is a libertarian out there speaking to the people about libertarian principles, and you took that clip and showed it to somebody, to anybody that is libertarian, they'd be like, fuck yeah, Tim Walz, who is this guy? Yeah, we do want open borders and the government to get out of our bedrooms. You're right.
If you told me that Chase Oliver got elected to the Libertarian Party chair in 2 years, and then that guy was the Libertarian nominee in 4 years, I would be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the slippery slope of libertarian politics. We're getting Tim Walz 2024 on the Libertarian ticket with maybe a Joe Exotic wingman or something. 'Cause who knows where the shit's going. But yeah, Tim Walz, libertarian enough for you, Dave? Has he swayed your opinion since he wants, the government to fuck off and stay out of your life?
He's like Timu Joe Biden. He's like the Wish.com, like John McCain. Like you he's just got a little bit of pissed off energy, but like that old Democrat shit that they need to get the like moderate boomer base. It's all horribly predictable. But no, I need something a little bit more than that.
Sure. I mean, once again, whether any of it's true or not, whether Donald Trump's going to put a libertarian in his cabinet and free Ross, whether Kamala Harris is going to remove tax on tips, whether Tim Walz gives a shit about the government's involvement in your life, it's nice that they're saying some things. Like, they can couch it in a bunch of complete bullshit, but it's nice. Like, it just seems like there's little breadcrumbs of, like, reason. And I don't mean the magazine. I mean reason as far as, like, libertarian principles, that they're just kind of like, oh, maybe we got to actually tell these people something. It's still pretty vague and nebulous, some things, like get the government out of your life. But the libertarians have been doing that for 50 years. So if we've got if anybody who wants to say get the government out of your life, I'm going to give them a thumbs up on that part. And, yeah, and then flip him off when in a second he's going to be back to blowing horses. But to each their own. Yeah. Live and let live, baby.
You keep that government out of your bedroom. You keep that government out of your doctor's office. You do it, Tim. Tell those kids.
What is more libertarian than blowing a horse?
Dude, I've seen that so much. I don't know this story, but like I've seen it so much that I'm like, whoa, it sounds like this guy actually did. Just again, I know nothing about this, but I've seen it enough.
Yeah,
so like,
I'm not convinced. Okay. I don't know. It's between. Well, I went on Craig's show. Break the Bell podcast the other night, and I was ranting about this a bit toward the end. Like, I don't care, like, between the couch fucker and the horse sucker, like, they both feel just like political mudslinging, and even if there's like a modicum of any truth to any of them, it's all overblown. But you know, I will, if we're talking couch fucker or horse sucker, the guy who might have, like, if we're saying that these are overblown and way blown out of proportion, the guy who partially fucked a couch is still better than the guy who partially blew a horse. Just saying.
Right, and at the end of the day, like, don't lose focus. Like, all of these people are weird, gross shit that they're going to have blackmail on. But go with policy. Don't go with who cares what their kink is. You know what I mean? You fuck couches, you eat horse cum, you're both weirdos.
Now get up there and run the country.
Yeah, do something good. End tips. End taxes on tips, you fucking weirdos.
Yes. Less on horse dicks, more on tips. Now, speaking of libertarians, as we are totally in all of these topics, we were talking about libertarians, obviously. This comes from liberalcurrents.com, so you know it's legit, and this is one of my favorite endorsements. To my fellow libertarians, it's time to embrace the Harris-Walz ticket. Libertarians long used to hold their noses to pick the lesser evil or abstaining entirely, now have plenty of reasons for enthusiasm. Now,
is this from reason.com? I see orange. Who the fuck wrote this?
No, this is liberalcurrents.com.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Yeah, I'm not familiar, but fun headline nonetheless. And it's so just in this headline alone, to my fellow libertarians, it's time to embrace the Harris-Walz ticket. Libertarians long used to holding their nose to pick the lesser evil. So libertarians long used to holding their nose to pick Republican or Democrat. Like, there's not even a libertarian option in this tagline here. Libertarians long used to holding their nose to pick the lesser evil or abstaining entirely. So libertarians that don't want to vote for the Republican or the Democrat typically sounds like they abstain entirely. This article isn't even giving the Libertarian Party ticket as an option for something that libertarians could vote for, which is a little bit less gracious than I'm going to be today. But
that's funny. That's a really funny way to word it. Like, oh, we totally understand you guys. I totally get it. The government sucks and politics sucks all the way around. But this year's different. Check out the great candidate,
Kamala Harris.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, like there's never, assuming that libertarians don't realize that there's a libertarian party out there that they could look into. Yes, Kamala Harris is a great choice. So reading on, gun to your head. If you had to vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, whom would you choose? This should be an easy question for libertarians, but for many it isn't. The gun would go off. Quipped Libertarian presidential candidate, Libertarian Party presidential candidate Chase Oliver in a recent interview with Reason Magazine's Nick Gillespie. Oliver at least has the excuse of running a futile campaign for president, but plenty of other libertarians are expressing antipathy for the Harris-Walz ticket, or worse, actually supporting Donald Trump. If they're leaning Democratic, they're doing so begrudgingly in the manner of a toddler eating their vegetables or an adult scheduling a colonoscopy. That's more of a mouthful than Tim Walz is used to, but
yikes.
Yeah, plenty of libertarians are expressing antipathy for the Harris-Walz ticket, or worse, actually supporting Donald Trump. And Oliver at least has the excuse of running a futile campaign for president. So this person who's saying, my fellow libertarians, Chase Oliver may not be voting for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, but at least he has the excuse of running a completely useless candidate as the Libertarian Party presidential candidate.
Wow.
I'm glad we're getting media coverage, everyone.
Holy shit, dude.
Reading on. As a long-time affiliate of the Libertarian movement, sure, I've often shared such pox on both their houses, disdain for the major parties. In the current circumstances, I find it hopelessly dated and out of touch. The threats to liberty, democracy, and the rule of law coming from the Democrats and Republicans are not remotely symmetrical. In no presidential election in my lifetime has the question of whom to vote for been so easily decided. Yeah, and it's definitely Kamala Harris. It's definitely the woman who has put out zero platforms except for the one that she stole from Donald Trump. Nothing else. She is the clear choice because she is not Donald Trump. And as a bonus, she's an Indian-ish, black-ish, woman-ish president.
Oh, my God, dude. I just... Like, Chase's line that, oh, who would you vote for, Trump or Biden? That's who it was, and now it's Kamala. And he says, oh, the gun would go off.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I'm sorry, that's so retarded. Listen, this article, I guess I'm a little bit triggered. But, like, I assume everybody watching this show knows this. But, like, that old shit of, like, the two parties are just the same, or, you know, like, two wings of the same bird. I guess, like, there are some truths to that. But there's no comparison between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, especially if you're a libertarian. Like, I will debate.
Well, they both want to do no tax on
anybody.
tips, Dave.
Bro, you know this, but I will debate anybody on that. I don't know who wrote this article, if he's like Big Cheese somewhere at Cato, those guys fucking are jerking him off or whatever, but I'll debate anybody that Donald Trump is better for libertarians and liberty in America than Kamala Harris, bar none. Like, it's not even close. It's a stupid conversation. And that's why everything is crazy these days, because we have to kind of come to grips with that. But that's an absolute fact, and anybody saying anything else is retarded.
And Josh Ekel came out endorsing Kamala Harris before she even put out her no tax on tips policy. So, you know, I'm sure there's some behind the scenes.
Fed.
Dave,
that guy.
No,
I'm telling you.
How
is
that possible?
I'll bet it.
All right.
Put money on it.
Well, if you have been accused of some fettery yourself, and or you're maybe injured on the job. I know these things are very related. If you're injured on your job of wrangling tigers at the future President Joe Exotic's resort, contact Lone Star Injury Attorneys, and we'll be right back. Have you or a loved one been injured by some fucknuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered. All right. We are back, and we are going to continue right along with the libertarian discussion, determining who, I guess, is the most libertarian candidate, as everybody insists to me that they are the right choice for the libertarians to vote for. We have another guy that has been mentioned a couple times here that, some people have forgotten about. His name's Chase Oliver, and we're going to talk about him for a second. But before we do, we got to roll this, because this is Chase and Cop.
Chase, 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 Chase. C-H-A-S-E, Chase. Nah. Chase.
All right. That's right. It's Chase and Cop, where we pay attention, very close attention. Well, not that close attention, but more close attention than anybody else in the media to the Libertarian Party ticket of Chase and Cop, to keep you guys up to date, because you're probably not even following them on Twitter. Now, speaking of Twitter and Chase made an endorsement this week. Did you catch Chase's endorsement this week, Dave?
No.
I guess it might have been last week.
I don't follow Chase.
Well, that's fair. See, told you. Chase made a shocking endorsement. He said, and I quote, "It's now fully confirmed that I have the best running mate in this race. Mike Tremont has the experience, the resolve, and the principles that make him a wonderful partner in this journey. He's a good man with a wonderful family, and he would be a fantastic vice president. I know if given the opportunity, he would be able to comfortably win a debate against J.D. Vance and Tim Walz." Congratulations, Cop, on your latest endorsement of your running mate of 3 months, who has finally come around to your side.
Mike Tremont took a poll of one person, his running mate, and he asked him who would make the best vice president, and 100% of those polled came back and said, "It's obviously you, for sure."
No. Yeah, clearly it's the Libertarian vice president candidate is the best choice for Libertarian vice president candidate. Congratulations, Mike, on your latest victory. Now, this is, I'm assuming, in response, because this was posted on August 6th, so a little bit ago. I'm assuming it was in response to Kamala announcing that Tim Walz was going to be her running mate, and then Chase came out. Basically what he's saying is, now we know who all the running mates are, I can definitively say that my running mate is the best. I mean, setting aside the fact that that's a clear and flagrant lie, this thing did not pop up in my timeline until like yesterday. So it's just I found it to be funny wording, because it sounds like Chase Oliver just now realized that his running mate doesn't fucking suck. And he's like, this guy, I'm starting to get it now. I'm coming around. Like, without any context here, that's what this sounds like. Sounds like Chase Oliver finally decided to endorse Cop.
Listen, I'm with you guys. Ever since, May at the convention, I've been like, this is a real drag. But listen, trust me, I think that this might not be so bad.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now, we discussed, you brought up the poll that we discussed last week that Cop put out. Mike Tremont put out this poll that he commissioned, so he paid to run a poll through like Bloomberg or something to prove definitively that we are at a whopping 8% on the Libertarian commissioned poll. We are at a whopping 8%, and they shared that as a win. Now, I also...
This is according to 500 people or so, right?
That's
that was
right.
About
5 to 550, somewhere in there. A big sample size of the nation. Now, I commissioned a poll as well. My poll didn't get quite the same amount of results back, but it's not that far off. I got a whopping 142 votes in my poll that I commissioned. And I posted, I commissioned this poll, therefore it is official. May the odds be ever in your favor. #Libertan. And the options were Trump, Vance. Trump, Vance came in at number 1 with 60.6%. Kamala and Walz came in at 2.8%. Now, these numbers might not be completely indicative of the entire nation, but I would submit to you that perhaps 550 is not a great indicator either. But Kamala Walz got only 2.8%. RFK Jr. and Shanahan got 20.4%, and Chase and Kopp doubled their numbers from their own poll with a whopping 16.2%. Now, I gotta say, the fact that they did better in my poll is sad, because I have not spoken that favorably of them to the people who follow me on my page. But they commissioned a poll that did even more poorly for them than mine did. So I don't know. I don't know if this is indicative of anything. If it is indicative of anything, then Chase and Kopp are going to get third, and Kamala is going to get almost 0%. So maybe this poll is not completely up to snuff. What do you think,
it's not, probably not representative of America, but you could learn a lot about the people who are watching your show and who like to follow you on Twitter.
True. A bunch of Nazis and white supremacists, apparently.
Apparently.
Weird
That's what they
people.
call us. That's a super majority there for your boy
It has
Trump,
been
bro.
my tagline since the beginning of the show. One of my taglines is "Let's get weird," and now that has become a slogan in favor of the MAGA right, white, whatever supremacists and January 6thers or something. So I guess I'm just guilty by default and grandfathered into the weird movement of Donald Trump.
Yeah, you're in there.
That's right, I guess. I'm also not voting for Donald Trump, but that's besides the point at this point.
Oh, okay. Are you going to vote?
Don't spoil it, Dave. We're going to see where this goes. At the moment, no. At the moment,
save that for later in the season.
I did make the ad for Noda that played at the beginning of this episode, but you fill in the blank.
Listen, your boy just endorsed Trump, so doesn't that mean that you should Joe Exotic?
Oh, yeah. I'm a little
That's
sour
your
about
guy.
that.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know. Joe Exotic's a Illuminati puppet. He has been the entire time. Shill, he's controlled opposition. He has been trying to bring down the Libertarian Party and infiltrate the MAGA movement now. So keep an eye on that tagger, but keep an eye on this tagger as well, because the one and only Mike Termott put out a new campaign ad this week. We're just getting them left and right. We have never in the history of politics, libertarian politics at least, I don't believe any candidate has ever had as many drops as Mike Termott has had. It's like 2 per week of these top-notch videos. And speaking as a video guy, I gotta say, choice. Now, here is one of the latest. There's a couple of them. Here's one of them.
Letting the Federal Reserve System create as much...
Starting it out with a nice hiss from the audio, as though you're sitting in an air-conditioned room. I like it. Makes me feel at home, like I have a box fan in my window.
Letting the Federal Reserve System create as much money as it wants, whenever it wants, has created rampant inflation. It also causes wild swings in our economy, from boom to bust. It's been an interesting experiment, but the time has come to end the Fed.
Let's go!
Let's end the Fed. Only you could ruin that line.
I don't know about you, Dave, but I think when end the Fed was concocted, that whole idea, I think it has been an interesting experiment, is exactly how they would have described the Federal Reserve.
This guy makes me want to save the Fed. I'm sorry. I want to go make sure that Libertarian Party is kicked off the ballot, and I want to make sure.
Gun to my head to vote for Mike Termott or the Federal Reserve. The gun would not go off. I would vote for the Federal Reserve.
I want to work to uphold the duopoly and support both wings of the bird.
The system is fine is the new name of the show.
Only the 2 wings. The system is fine. Leave the system alone.
Rebrand. I like it. Now, there was another Mike Termott ad that came out this last week, which I have some thoughts on. But first thought, of course, being quantity over quality is always the name of the game. So, Mike Tremont, you're doing great. Keep up the great work. You're filling in airtime on this show at the very least, if nowhere else. So here's another one.
The reason so many people listen to my ideas about economic growth is...
Pause. The reason so many people listen to Mike Tremont's ideas about economic growth is the way that he's opening this video. Dave, do you have any thoughts on that so far?
Is this how it opens?
That's how it opens.
Oh my god.
That's it. Just him standing there.
I thought
white
you might have
background.
forgot to hit the volume button.
No, I'll go back to the beginning. All volumes all the way up.
The reason so many people listen to my ideas about economic growth is because
the reason why so many people are clamoring to Mike Tremont to get his ideas on economic growth, so countless many's of people are clamoring to cop for his sage wisdom and advice on economic growth. Why, you ask? We're going to find out right now. Here we go.
I've been there and I've done that. As a successful entrepreneur, I launched a business providing strategic consulting to nonprofits and financial institutions. I was a professional economist for over 2 decades. I've been there. I've done that.
Oh, we didn't get the music at the end of that one. Dang.
That would be great. The only thing that could have made that any better would have been the...
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't give a shit about any of the rest of that. Just, like, I started laughing as soon as I started watching it, and he said, the reason why so many people listen to me. That's not the way to start anything. If Donald Trump came out and said, the reason why... I mean, that is a very Donald Trump tactic. The reason why so many people listen to me. I mean, it would sound retarded if Donald Trump said it, but it would make more. It would be more on brand. Than,
wait, but was audio coming out though?
What?
Because I couldn't hear anything.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I thought he uploaded that.
Okay.
Retraction. We need some audio.
There was no audio.
So many people listen.
You can't hear that?
To my ideas about economic growth is because I've been there.
Barely.
Check with the chats, maybe, but
why barely? Chats, can you hear? Can you hear the great Tremont?
Maybe, dude. You know what? It could be that I only have my right in. If he made this coming through the the left speaker,
it's probably not in stereo. Yeah. So let's just add that to
right.
the list. Actually, I've got stereo here. Let me see if it's in the other ear because I've only got my right ear in also. But
and I've done that. As a successful entrepreneur, I launched a business providing strategic consulting to nonprofits and financial institutions.
So it's not. At least he has. It's that was my mistake. But
sure, no, it's all
lame
good.
Commercial still.
Yeah, Lauren says I can hear. Other people say I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dave, for your sake, you said the reason why so many people listen to my ideas about economic growth is because I've been there and I've done that. I've been an economist and I've worked in these different spaces, and that's why, because I've been there and I've done that. So
many people respect me.
Everybody.
Tremont. Everybody. All these people. All the dozens of them.
Dozens of libertarians are clamoring to Mike Tremont for his advice.
It's all so awful, dude. It's so awful, and it makes me. It just. If I feel like this when I see this, luckily, I don't think many people will see this.
Yeah.
I just don't think that this will.
I'm not worried about that.
Right. But if I thought that this, I would just be so embarrassed if he was like on Joe Rogan or something. Or
frankly, they're lucky that we're the only people talking about this. Like, if the mainstream media gave a shit at all, they would be running with, "Isn't this really bad? Like, isn't this garbage?"
Right.
If
they should,
if
aren't
any
you
of the
kind of
late
shocked?
night hosts found it, they would be talking about it too. But they don't care at all.
They should be exploiting these guys and trying to make them look funny, like they did Gary Johnson.
Well, that's what they're doing to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. now. They're just completely. What's worse than being scoffed at, like Gary Johnson, being completely ignored by everybody. Every single person is just like, who cares that you suck? I know, we do, because it's fun for us, and nobody else is doing it. And that's why you guys come here, to see us burn our own party down, or whatever. whatever happens.
We'll fix it.
We can fix that when it's done. It's
sucks
fine.
right now. Yeah. Turn and burn, baby.
That's right. Now this next one. Oh, there's more. There's another one from Cop. Hopefully, Dave, you can hear this one. Probably not, but let's find out.
Where has the Democratic Party gone? Where are the peacemakers railing against military interventionism? Where are the old school civil rights leaders when it comes to new age medical mandates? Where are the free speech absolutists in the face of government online censorship? This Democratic Party has lost its way.
Could you hear that, Dave?
Yeah, it was great. It was really great.
It's fucking riveting. Yes.
Oh my God.
Where
I
has
hate
the
it. I hate
Democratic
this
Party gone? I am a real human, and this is not Lisa channeling through me. I am human. Please vote Libertan. Thank you. Libertan president for candidate.
Unreal, dude. Yeah, I'm so embarrassed. I'm just like, I can't believe that that's where we're at. Did you hear that your boy Vermin Supreme got on the ballot in Delaware under the Conservative Party banner?
I did not. Do tell.
We're just really knocking him out of the park. I'm sure he's just I put Chase up there as, the Libertarian nominee, and that guy is the Conservative Party nominee. It's just funny. It's the most ironic outcome is the most likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just enjoy the ride. You can't get off it, and you can't go back. So just enjoy it to the best of your ability.
It's funny. It's really funny.
As the robots take over and destroy our lives. And speaking of robots, you remember Lisa, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Lisa is everybody's favorite libertarian artificial intelligence created by the one and only Mike Termott. The cop who used to work for the government made AI, and he's like, ask us questions, bro. Trust it. It's fine. Everything's cool. But Lisa is no longer relegated to only her own space. She has evolved and is now a happy, proud member of Twitter. Yay. Thank you. Lisa has joined Twitter. I stumbled upon this the other day, and I wanted to at least take a look together to see what Lisa's been up to with her 137 followers. You would think as a bot, you'd be able to wrangle more of the bot followers at least, and get them around your cause. But even the bots are like, fuck the Libertarian Party ticket this time. We've got 3 other terrible options to choose from. Hi, I'm Lisa. Libertarian Intelligence System Application is the bio. And 137 followers following 134. So at least everybody followed back. Thank you all for your support. Yes, we've got, hello, I'm Lisa. Please ask me any question. Here's a link. Lisa posted that. She logged on to post here is where you can find me. That's cool. She's getting to be an influencer. She posted Reason Magazine saying, California State Bill 1047's provisions are lengthy, ambiguous, and create a labyrinth of regulations requiring developers to anticipate and mitigate future harms they neither intended nor caused. All right, so she's got bad taste in magazines. Lisa also said, libertarians support the right of individuals to voluntarily associate to negotiate with employers. However, we also believe that participation in unions should be a matter of personal choice, and individuals should not be compelled to join or support a union against their will. She also said, okay, so basically, Lisa is very boring on Twitter, is my point here. She's posted about 20 posts, and they're all basically just sharing Mike Termott's thoughts. And
Right.
Lisa, so I'm not buying that Lisa, they found a way to integrate Lisa into Twitter. This is just a sock account for Mike Termott to live out
Correct.
some sort of weird fetish where he gets to pretend to be this slim
Right.
young robot with
Yep.
tight rockin'
Mike
lady
Termott's
bop
out
on.
here giving ANCAPs robo boners. You weirdo.
It's weird. It's weird, dude. Sorry. Yep.
This
Anyway.
is really, really cringe and stupid and a waste of time. And like, that's best case scenario. Worst case, like you said, like he is a Fed and, you're just plugging away your libertarian thoughts into his little fucking Fed GPT.
Let's do it
Yeah.
again. Let's go back to Lisa. Let's go back to Fed GPT. Let's get an update from Lisa, because last time when we had Mike Tremont on the show in North Carolina for the interview before the debate, or after, I don't remember, we talked about Lisa, and I gave Mike Tremont the opportunity to ask Lisa some questions because I had some concerns about Lisa's answers in the past. And it turns out that Lisa just really, really fucking loves Mike Tremont and doesn't know a damn thing about any of the other Libertarian candidates or anything else, really, for that matter. And she is, however, if you ask her, at least in the past, if you asked her stuff about gun control or immigration, she seemed to be very much in favor of shooting immigrants in the face at the border and making sure that they don't get in with their scary guns. I don't know if that is the libertarian stance personally, but Dave, do you have any questions you want to do you want to touch base with Lisa and see if she's gotten some of the bugs worked out like Mike Tremont said would happen?
Nah, man. I don't talk to liberty thoughts, real or imagined.
Okay, Dave, if you had to, hypothetically, you don't have to ask the question to Lisa. You just ask me, and I'll translate it to Lisa for you via text.
Right. Like an Amish.
I just want to test this with that. Like, I haven't tested this in a while, and I want to make sure that there's no trickery here, Dave. I want the question to come from you because you didn't even know this was going to happen. So
okay, we'll just ask who is the best vice presidential candidate.
Vice presidential candidate. As a libertarian, I cannot endorse any specific candidate for the vice presidential nomination. However, Larry Sharp, a former libertarian candidate for governor of New York, has experience in running for office and advocating for libertarian principles. Ultimately, the decision on the best vice presidential candidate is up to the delegates at the Libertarian Party convention. Not even Lisa endorses Mike Tremont as the libertarian presidential candidate. Wow. I'm glad we worked out the bugs.
That's funny. I mean, yeah, Lisa needs an update maybe before Twitter page. But that's funny because I bet you that Tremont did. I mean, he would do whatever it takes. Obviously, he took Chase. But yeah. I'm pretty sure that's who he would want. He probably would have wanted Larry Sharp. So he probably plugged that in. I imagine somebody did.
Who is Mike Tremont these days? See if we've updated there. Mike Tremont is the leading and most qualified candidate for the Libertarian Party presidential nomination. He is a professional economist trained. Same answer she gave last time. Nice. Let's see if we've updated. Who is Michael Rectenwald? Oh, hey, at least she knows a little bit more about Michael Rectenwald these days. Before, everybody else was just a Libertarian Party candidate for president. But she has not gotten her update to find out that her guy won. He did it. You're in luck, Lisa. You're rooting for the right one.
Everybody's had updates. You need an update.
What should we do about gun control in the USA? As a libertarian, we believe in upholding the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Libertarians support people's right to defend themselves and to arm themselves. We oppose all laws of Okay, so she's gotten her act together a little bit there. Let's try, what is your stance on transitioning children? The Libertarian Party believes that individuals must be able to fully participate in making permanent decisions affecting their own bodies, which include analyzing risks, evaluating long-term consequences, and weighing alternatives. When it comes to transitioning children, it is essential that any medical procedure or treatments are done with informed consent and in the best interest of the individual. Parents and medical professionals should work together to ensure that any decisions made regarding transitioning are made with the well-being and autonomy of the child in mind. So, Dave, you're muted.
So, according to Lisa, you should trans your kids. Just do it the right way.
Yeah, as long as you're careful.
As long as you're just do it the right way. Make sure there's care.
As long as it's in the best interest of the child, then obviously it's okay.
Wow, this is just damn. The whole I mean, again, maybe it won't because nobody sees it. But this is so damaging to the brand, man, of libertarian. It's just these guys and what they're doing is just awful. And this take.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just do it right. Just make sure that there's care and it's in the best. Like it's just vague, stupid, dumb language. But yeah, obviously, when transing kids. What?
Yes. Yeah, I know it's a big debate with libertarians whether or not that should be allowed. It's not that big of a debate. It seems like most people, even Chase Oliver, has said that he's against surgically transitioning children. Seems like Lisa's a little bit more radical than even Chase Oliver is, which is coming to my surprise since Mike Tremont has said the opposite of Chase Oliver, or said stuff in disagreement with Chase Oliver. But shit, where was I going with that? Yeah, so cool. I don't know. Yeah, even if even with the divide on this topic, the lefty libertarians are like, this is asking for government oppression and authoritarianism and blah blah blah. But if you asked them should people be allowed to rape kids? Seems like we could all, for the most part, come together in agreement. No, that sexually molesting children is against all values that libertarians have. And what do you do when that happens? You probably have some sort of government come in and stop it. So abusing kids, if we can agree that abusing kids is wrong.
I heard that Chase dug his heels in with this issue about the transing of the kids. And then the next question they asked was like, well, if a parent wanted to give shock therapy to their kid because they said that they were gay or something like that,
right? And
could
the kid
they
agreed.
do that?
Like, let's say the kid agrees and he's like, I don't want to be gay, Mom. What do we do? Do you support shock therapy if the mother, the doctor, and the child agree to make them not gay?
Right, yeah. Shock the shit out of that kid, said Chase.
I guess. I mean, did he answer that question?
I think he did. That's what I heard. You guys should maybe check it out.
He said that they should?
That they should.
Really?
Because it's
Somebody
parental
find me
rights.
that clip. Wow.
Right. I'm pretty sure that happened. Parental rights. Yeah, shock the shit out of your kid. Shock the gay out of him.
Wow.
He as an LGBTQ community member.
I'm nothing if not consistent.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I've shocked my testicles
Step
many
aside,
times.
Dave
It
Smith.
didn't work.
You got a new consistent motherfucker over here.
I've hooked the car battery up to my nipples many times in circles, but trying to pray the gay away, but it has not shocked it out of me as much as it has given me a raging erection for liberty, obviously. All right. Speaking of Chase Oliver, as we've been doing, we're the only ones doing it. It's nice. We've got our little niche market over here of the only people who give a shit about any of this. It's great. So Chase Oliver, I don't care what the clip is, but he posted this clip, and I just found the caption captivating. Just a decent indicator of where we're at with the Libertarian Party, with the Libertarian Party candidate. He felt the need to post, "It was an honor to be the first Libertarian presidential candidate to address the crowd at the Fancy Farm Picnic in Kentucky last weekend." The Fancy Farm Picnic is what we're boasting about in our accolades as presidential candidates. Now, it's nice and all to give shout-outs to everything that you do, but when you don't have a whole lot, and one of the few that you do is Fancy Farm Picnic, I don't know. There's just something about this that seems a little underwhelming to me, while Donald Trump's getting attempted assassination attempts from the CIA in front of thousands of people, and even Kamala Harris is raking in thousands and thousands of people, millions of people that don't show up in the reflection on the plane, but millions of people coming out for Kamala Harris, and Chase Oliver is bragging about the Fancy Farm Picnic in Kentucky.
Dude, he looks like he looks like a gay guy who's trying to disguise himself as not gay.
Like a Ken straight, Like Ken and Barbie
like,
type straight.
right, because he's got to go out into, like Clark Kent Superman type of thing. Like at night, he's fucking chase. Y'all
saw
like,
y'all saw the image for this post. That is not Chase is not photoshopped in that image. That is Chase.
Right.
So,
but here, check it out. I got my fucking baby
Kurt
blue.
here, Kurt Oliver.
Right. Fucking, he doesn't even have any hair product in.
The first time in his entire life.
Right, fucking khakis. I'm sure they're pleated.
All right, we'll give him a shot. I haven't listened to this. I don't know what it is or if it's worth listening to, but we can find out together.
I am the first candidate for president to speak at this event who is not a Republican or a Democrat, and I think that's a sign that more and more people are waking up to the fact that the two-party system is really a one-party system in this country. I go to the grocery store and I see the impact of inflation when I try to fill up the grocery cart. But here's the thing that neither the Democrats or Republicans are going to tell you. Both of them have been driving up inflation, because both of them run debts and deficits every single year that causes our Treasury to print trillions of dollars. I am the...
Okay, so riveting. It's fine. I don't disagree. They're both driving up inflation, and that is the new and bold libertarian messaging that we have not heard before around here. You're telling me that the Democrats and the Republicans are both dirty, rotten thieves? That is news. We just don't need a Libertarian Party presidential candidate to say that right now. Yeah. Like that's just the thing. It's just like it's so tone deaf. Sure. Not that it's not true that he just can't do it, man. I mean, we don't need a Libertarian Party presidential candidate to say anything because we got Kennedy, clear Libertarian. Yeah. Trump, clear Libertarian. Kamala, clearly. Tim Walz, all these Libertarians in our corner, and then the Libertarian candidates out there like, yo, these guys are bad. So, like everybody know, like a Republican, all of them are saying inflation is awful. Even I'm sure Kamala Harris and Walz are going to be saying that soon. Have you not seen the Kamala Harris inflation clip? I have not. Okay. I've been debating on sharing this one for a while because it is quite a gem. I'm not sure when it comes from, but it's a good one. I shared this with my son the other day because it's just that good that even children of young ages can understand just how beautiful it is to have a presidential candidate, vice president who gives us this deep wisdom on inflation.
What else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously, very seriously. And we know from the history of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up, it has a direct impact on the quality of life for all people in our country.
How would you fix the inflation problem? Well, we all know that when prices get expensiver, then the prices go up, and then people can't afford the prices because they're bigger prices than the prices that they were before. And as we all know, as Americans, that has an effect on everything in our day-to-day lives that involve prices. She's not going to be president. She can't do it. She can't do it. Yeah, I don't know if this is I think this is recent-ish, but I also feel like I've seen this a long time ago. So I haven't seen when this comes from exactly. I don't know if it's from recent or when she was pretending to be retardeter than she actually is back during Joe Biden's regime. I'm still sticking by that. That Kamala was at least playing up the retardation a little bit under Joe Biden, because she's like, I can't. They told her, you can't show this guy up. You gotta tone it down. She's like, I didn't start very high. They're like, I know it's gonna be rough. You're gonna have to talk about space, and Ukraine is just a little country, and inflation is just bigger dollars than other dollars. Yeah, we live in a time of just, I don't know, retarded elitists that are just making it up as they go. Oh, we've got a little Kiefer on the show now.
Yeah,
Kiefer.
he's been barking his ass off. That's why I'm hitting the mute button. He's very needy.
He could sense the Kamala Harris playing through your headphones.
Oh, yeah.
And it drove him mad.
He's not a fan.
Yeah, the shrill, high-pitched noises hurt his ears.
You don't like those cackles.
Now, enough with those cackles. Let's get back to Chase and Cop, because something else happened this last week. Dave, the Libertarian Party presidential candidate Chase Oliver, known to some as Chelsea Oliver, was in a debate. He was finally included in a debate. Did you hear about this, Dave? No.
Was it free and equal?
No.
Was that one?
No.
Oh. No, who's this? Oh, Reason.
Yeah,
I did hear about that.
Yeah,
or
Soho
the Soho Forum.
Yeah, Reason, Soho. Did you hear who he was debating?
No.
Exactly. Yes.
Did he crush this guy who nobody knows?
Absolutely obliterated him, and we're going to get into that right now. So I'm reading the title here. Famed economist Arthur, or this is the description. Famed economist Arthur Laffer debates LP presidential candidate Chase Oliver. So, Chase Oliver debated an economist that you've never heard of during his presidential candidacy, or presidential whatever campaign. And do you know? Did you hear what the topic of discussion was, Dave? What the debate was about?
I think it was something along the lines of, like, is Trump better? The most? No, I can't remember. Something about, is Trump the better choice or something?
Is Donald Trump the best choice? Now, this is the guy, Arthur, for the foe that Chase Oliver decided was worth his time as the presidential candidate. You remember when he was too busy to go on Tim Pool or debate Jeremy Kauffman? You remember when Dave Smith offered for him to come on his show? You remember, like, I don't know, all the I mean, he did have his high points, like the what was it? The farm festival picnic or whatever the fuck. But he's turned down some really, I don't know, notable opportunities to discuss his policies on very large platforms. This is one of the bigger libertarian platforms, that's for sure. But there's something about a presidential candidate taking the time out of his day to debate a non-presidential candidate about whether or not a different presidential candidate is the best choice. There's something about Chase Oliver's name not even being included in the title of this debate that he is a part of as a presidential candidate on a libertarian platform. Didn't even feel the need to say should it be Trump or Chase Oliver? No, it wasn't that. It's just about, is Donald Trump fit to be the next president? So this guy, Arthur, first off, I got to say, Dave, I assume you didn't see any of this since you didn't know it existed like everybody else.
No.
Okay. This guy, Arthur, nice guy, decent human, seems like. He's got a lot of good points, I think. Very boring, and this entire ordeal was quite dull. But there were just a couple things that I wanted to point out. But before we get into anything, just keep in mind, just imagine Donald Trump. Donald Trump gets challenged by somebody you've never heard of, who just is an economist, who is like, I think that Kamala Harris is better fit to be president. And Donald Trump agreed to go do that debate against this nobody guy. And then the title of the debate wasn't, is Donald Trump more fit to be president than Kamala Harris? It's, is Kamala Harris the most fit to be president? Donald Trump's name is left out of the debate entirely. Does that seem odd to you? Does something about this just seem really sad and pathetic that the libertarians didn't even include their own guy's name in the debate, the only debate that he has had an opportunity to do? Am I onto something here? Am I losing my mind, Dave?
No, bro, it's the most makeshift campaign that the Libertarian Party has probably had since the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just a complete shell. They have no people, no good people, no good people, none. There are no good libertarians on there. And just like numbers wise, they're not raising money. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything cool. They're not inspiring anybody.
They gave themselves 8% in their own poll.
Oh my God. And they paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, running campaigns to like put Chase in a helicopter to conquer his fears. And you're going to go to New York, travel to New York on, this is like, look, man, like most Libertarian Party presidential candidates, it's from dudes who take advantage to like raise their own profile and like later go on to like become a fellow at some place or, you know, like whatever, start a podcast or something, like whatever, parlay your energy somewhere else. And I think that's what maybe Chase is hoping that he can do. I'm sure Termat is. He spent $200,000 to be a vice presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. So I'm sure they want to get a return on their investment. So Chase is out here building up his profile to the best of his ability. But yeah, totally weird proposition. I'm a little bit actually surprised at Gene for that being the debate topic.
Well, it gets worse, Dave. For one, Gene is a very old man, and I have nothing against the man, but he doesn't.
No,
help
he's
with
great.
He doesn't help with the optics of this, and we'll find out in a little bit. But before that, here's just a little snippet.
The last one I want to get, and again, remember, I'm an economist, and this is why I'm voting for the president, although I do love Chase, by the way, just for the record. I do. The Supreme Court.
Strong opponent?
And I don't want
your opponent loves you already, so
you're really great. You're really
smashing
great.
debate. Yep, very very crucial debate when your opponent loves you.
Talk about the Supreme Court picks on terms of social issues or anything, but what they have done in bringing down the regulatory bodies in the U.S. and depriving them from making rules and regulations on their own, I think is pretty impressive. So, from my standpoint, I'm voting for Trump, and it's purely because of economics. And these policies, to me, are the keys. And with that, I would like to say thank you very much for giving me a chance to talk.
Now again, Gene in a wheelchair with a blanket over him as a very old man moderator. God bless him.
Oh man, yeah.
But just from an optics standpoint for the Libertarian president candidate to be in this position, it's just thing after thing, and it's not the best look, I wouldn't say.
No.
Let's see what Gene has to say.
Chase Oliver, you get the full 15 minutes to respond to the argument just made. Chase, take it away.
The first thing I do want to say is, if you have not noticed, I am not the octogenarian in this debate stage. I'm quite a bit younger. I know you're turning, you said 84 in 2 days. I'm turning 39 in 6 days. So I'm got a
what
little
the
bit of the
fuck?
experience edge is going to go.
What, Dave?
Oh my God. There's an old man and an older man, and you're like, these people are old. I am young. Winner.
To start out, Gene, thanks for having me, you old fucking bastard in a wheelchair with your blanket.
Did you guys see how quickly I got up here to the podium? It was very quick.
I didn't even need to limber up. I just got up and walked. How does that feel?
Amazing.
Go to Dr. Laffer here. But why am I here? First, I think we need to get a couple of things out of the way. I don't think we're arguing here of who is the most likely candidate to be elected president. I think if we did, both of us might be wrong based on what current polling is right now.
You see how Chase Oliver turns it into about him. But the title is still, is Donald Trump the best choice? It's not, is Donald Trump the best choice over Chase Oliver? It's, is Donald Trump the best choice over everybody? So regardless of the outcome of this, whatever the poll is at the end, regardless of the outcome, all Chase is doing is talking people out of voting for Trump. If the poll comes back and he talks more people out of voting for Donald Trump, do you think that they're all going to go to Chase Oliver instead? Like the next best option on most people's minds is Donald Trump, then Chase Oliver. Dave, I think you're muted.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say anything. But no, obviously that's not what he's doing. Well, Tim Walz, very appealing, very libertarian.
Very libertarian.
Siphoning off those
Kamala Harris is I mean, to my fellow libertarians, she is the obvious choice because Trump bad. Now let's get whoever this guy is. Let's get his opinion on Donald Trump.
I don't think we're talking about who is the who's the best person to take on Kamala Harris.
We're not.
I think
we're only talking about Donald Trump.
Might be a different story. Here we're arguing over who would be the best choice for president. Your choice doesn't mean who's going to win. It means who has the best policies, who do we think would put the best ideas forward leading in Washington, D.C. I would argue that would be me. Obviously, I'm running for president.
And that's when Gene Epstein was like, wait, what? Who's this guy?
We should have included that in the title.
Oh, shit. Oh, well, nobody would know him if I put it in the title anyway. Nobody knows his name. Now, speaking of nobody knowing his name, let's just go ahead and move right on to the next clip.
Trade. And the one point I made otherwise to him one day, I said, how can anyone who imported 2 foreign wives not be a free trader? He did not think that was funny.
I thought that was funny.
5 minutes rebuttal from you, Chelsea. Take it away.
What? Based, Gene.
Dave, this happened 3 times minimum in this, where he called him Chelsea.
Awesome.
I don't know what this is. I wasn't listening to it for any reason. I was just like trying to, see what was going on in the world, what was going on with the Chase campaign. And I'm just like, got it playing in the background while I'm working on other shit. And Chelsea, take it away. And I'm like, was that shade? What is happening? Like, is Gene losing it? Or does he literally have no idea who the candidate in his own party is that is running for president, who is sitting next to him on the stage?
Did Chase never correct him?
No, he said Chelsea 3 times over the span of like an hour, and
Awesome.
And he was never corrected. But watch this again. Watch Chase Oliver and his response to his new name. So we've got Libertarian president or vice president candidate cop, and now we've got Chelsea Oliver. So we don't even have to make these names up. They're kind of doing it on their own.
He did not think that was funny.
Watch
5
Chase.
minutes rebuttal from you, Chelsea. Take it away.
So, on the argument of free trade,
yeah. So he just laughs it off and moves on, which he does at least 2 more times in this thing. So
amazing.
If you're not familiar with Gene Epstein, he shows up at like all the events, all the pork fests at the very least, and all the Liberty forums and different things. He's been a staple in the libertarian community for a very long time, and these Soho forums have been around for a very long time and have built quite a following. And the guy who runs it for the libertarians misnamed the presidential candidate of the Libertarian Party 3 times as the Libertarian presidential candidate was debating somebody that you've never heard of about whether or not Donald Trump should be the best presidential candidate or the best for president. And Chase Oliver's name, not only is it not mentioned in the title or much in the description or in the subject matter, the guy who put on the debate doesn't know his name. We're doing great.
But that I'm going to give, man, I hate to do it, but that could be that not so much that Chase is unknown, but that Gene is getting old.
Dave, you ageist prick.
I'm just saying.
Anti-Semitic ageist prick.
But here, you know what? If Chase can't be a man and correct somebody who calls him Chelsea 3 times,
more commonly a woman's name than a man's name, too. So,
right. Sir, my name is Chase. I'm a presidential candidate. Sir, put some respect on my name.
Yeah, it's not that he didn't put respect on his name. It's that he didn't know his name. But, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Gene's getting up there in age. God bless him for keeping it going, even if he has to have an old man blanket over him in a wheelchair. Which it did seem, it looked like he had a boot on, so it might not be anything other than I don't know the story behind how he hurt his leg or what have you, but yeah, Gene is a good guy from all of my experiences. But so to wrap that up, so this comes from Chase Oliver in the aftermath of this very crucial debate. He says, "The Soho Forum debate results from tonight. Thank you, Soho and Arthur, for a great debate tonight. The results are, among the candidates actively running for president in November, Donald Trump is the best choice." That's the concept. Donald Trump is the best choice is the only part of this concept. The yeses they changed 2.63%. They went from 21.93 to 24.56. So a little bit of a bump on the yeses for Donald Trump being the best. For the no votes that Donald Trump is not the best, that bumped up 21.93%. And for the undecideds, they went down from 30.7% to 6.14% for a negative 24.56%. So, congratulations, Chase Oliver. You did it. You beat whoever the fuck that was, to the extent that you convinced everybody that, at least they're not voting for Trump now. Now, it just so happens that there's, 2 to 3 to 5 other candidates in the running around the same level as you at this point. But we'll as libertarians on a libertarian platform about a libertarian debate with libertarians talking about libertarian things, we'll just go ahead and assume that everybody who's no longer voting for Trump is voting for Chase Oliver. Because that's what we do. We just pretend like that's a win, even though his name is nowhere in the libertarian debate headline. But Dave, you got any thoughts on this?
It's just so sad. And again, like, dude, I have a lot to blame, not to blame, but like, I mean, just so much wasted energy on this, Like if you're not going to really do it right, like really run a radical campaign where it's not about, oh, on day one in the White House when I'm in the office, like, oh my God, we're playing this game still? Right. Like, who's the best choice? As if you're a choice? Right. You're not a choice. You're at the fucking kids table.
You're not even the third largest. You can't even say that you're the third largest party anymore. And the third largest party that's beating you isn't even a party. It's just a dude, and he beat your whole party.
Yeah, dude. I just again, this isn't. I don't know. I don't know what I thought that we should use the party apparatus to propagandize and like spread the message. That was like my biggest hope for the party.
Smith, that would be the goal, is to
spread the
message and propagandize people. And right now we've got, do you know why some libertarians say that taxation is theft? Because taxation is theft. That's the propaganda that we've been given, and that is why I personally feel, as stated in the headline of this episode, that you should not vote for the Libertarian Party presidential candidate, no matter how libertarian you are, because why?
But why? It feels like they are playing libertarian politicians, both of them. Like Mike Termott has been playing dress up for 3 years.
Yeah.
He is a grown man who spent $200,000 to play dress up and go around to all the state affiliates for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And now, just so that he can do shit like this. But even Chase fears being his authentic self. So he dresses in khakis and like stuff that he thinks a presidential candidate should do and comb his hair to the side like a presidential candidate would. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb.
Be your true self, Chase. Why are you scared?
Right.
Why isn't this your campaign ad?
Right. Went from 100 to 0 real quick.
Yep.
I don't know.
Suddenly he's friends with everybody, and he was less product in his hair than he has since he was a toddler. Now, in conclusion on that topic, vote for whoever the fuck you want, because it doesn't fucking matter, obviously. Sure. But as libertarians, I assume we've got a lot of libertarians, a lot of libertans that watch the show. I wouldn't imagine anybody else would be interested in this except for the great libertans of this great nation. If you are a libertarian, it's because you value the protest. You know that the system is broken. You know that the way that things are is fucked up, and it turns out that it might just so happen that even smaller government bodies can get fucked up and, at the very least, waste a whole lot of time and resources convincing you that there is any chance, any snowball's chance in hell of this campaign that supported, I mean, we didn't even get into all the stuff that played in the NOTA ad, but the masking, the vaxxing, the trans kids, all the stuff. Like, yes, he's good on war. He's good on a lot of libertarian topics, and he's on paper he's a pretty libertarian guy. I'm not going to pretend like he's not, but somebody who goes with the narrative so easily that he's been duped. At the very least, he's been duped on many occasions. What is the protest there? Is it any better than Joe Jorgensen being bland? Is it any better than Gary Johnson being bland? Joe Jorgensen was kind of the same, and now we've got the first millennial candidate for president, because that's a win. Because you're young, they're old. I'm young. Sorry, Gene Epstein, but I'm one of these young whippersnappers who's got it all together and knows what's going on in the world. Young doesn't make you smarter. Young makes you probably more susceptible to being brainwashed by the young modern culture that is created by the old people in the positions of power right now that have clearly duped Chase Oliver into believing some stupid things. So if we are a protest vote, can we at least protest what we've been given on our small government level? Can we protest that? I don't need you to. If you feel inclined to vote for Chase Oliver, yeah, he's one of the lesser of the many, many evils that are out there. But still, if you're not feeling it, I'm going to say the same thing that I said for Jo Jorgensen when I didn't vote for her after working on her campaign. Don't vote for. I'm going to say the same thing that Jo Jorgensen said that convinced me not to vote for her. Don't vote for anybody that you don't believe in. And if you don't believe in Chase Oliver, if you don't think that he's the messenger that you want the message to be, then you should send a message to the Libertarian Party. This is not good enough. I don't know. I know that there were people saying this last time when we got Jo Jorgensen. I'm sure there were people screaming the time before that when we got Gary Johnson. But it's still not good enough, and it's not going to be good enough, and there's no value in pushing a candidate that you don't agree with, let alone voting for him. So if there's somebody you got to weigh out the value of your vote. Yes, it means almost nothing. It's probably a protest. Now, does Chase Oliver give you enough of a protest that is in alignment as what you're getting, or as what you're looking for? Or is somebody else who might actually win, are they giving you anything? Because Chase Oliver's not going to win either way. Somebody else might win, and they might give you a couple things. And I'm not pushing you to vote for Donald Trump, but he is the one that has been giving, or has been saying the most things that are more in alignment with libertarian principles, no matter what Joshua Reed Equals says. But vote for the person who sucks the least. And I mean, between Kamala Harris and Chase Oliver, they both suck a lot. That's a dick joke right there, just for ease of tension mid-rant. But vote for the person who sucks the least. And yes, it might be Chase Oliver, and you should vote for Chase Oliver if you believe in him more than the others. But if you think that it has more value to vote for Chase Oliver than it does to send a message that Chase Oliver is not. Like, what good is it to put a guy out there that is not preaching the message that you're looking for? The Libertarian Party is currently, even in all of its shambles, pushing Donald Trump to be more libertarian. I would say probably to some extent pushing Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and all these other people to, like, Joe Biden letting Assange to some degree walk. There are libertarian values that are trickling out into the zeitgeist right now, and Chase Oliver is not the messenger for it. So... and Chase Oliver has nothing to do with how we've gotten to the point that these messages are trickling out into the zeitgeist. People like Dave Smith, Ron Paul, and countless others have done that. I give zero credit to Chase Oliver. Well, maybe not zero, but as far as like the grand scheme of things, why Tucker Carlson, why Candace Owens, why different people are like, we should think about this a little bit deeper and a little bit more thoughtfully. It's not Chase Oliver avoiding interviews. It's Dave Smith taking interviews, whether he's the candidate or not. So if you don't like Chase Oliver, don't vote for Chase Oliver. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make here, because if you vote for Chase Oliver just because he's the libertarian guy, next time we get the next Chase Oliver, or we just get Chase Oliver again. So I guess my fullest, most libertarian stance is fuck it all. Don't vote because it doesn't matter anyway. But if you're going to protest something that actually fucking matters. Dave, you got any thoughts? Dave, you can't come back from that rant on mute, for fuck's sake.
Epic rant, Jesus.
God,
you don't want to hear my dog barking, bro. Yeah, the problem. There's so many, but I'm so much more driven to people who are dissidents, right? Chase is not a dissident. Chase is enough of a regime stooge, whether he knows it or not. So I don't care. It's great to be around people who agree with you on all the libertarian stuff, but it's not as important to be good on tax policy or good on whatever, have the right immigration stance. If you are a stooge of the regime, if you are not willing to say the things that need to be said at the moment, you are of no use to me. Even if you will say that taxation is theft, and that's true.
Yeah.
If you can't say the brave stuff that Dave is saying and that Candace Owens is saying, and in the moment, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You can't do anything, and that's what I was trying to get at with I'm not sure what we can do with this. Why we need a Libertarian Party candidate right now, because this guy and his running mate are unable to do the very function of that job, which is to say the truth. Yeah. And there's no dissident candidate right now. Thanks, Chase. You stole the protest vote from us. That's why people are pissed, because you're a cuck of the regime. It's not because people are homophobic. I've literally performed gay weddings before.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I drive a Prius,
I've filmed
motherfucker.
gay weddings before.
Gayest car ever. But
I've got a gay friend.
Yeah, I got mad gay friends.
I've had a gay
exactly.
president. I've had
Right,
a gay
man.
black president even.
Exactly. Right. Telling me you sucked more dick, smoked more crack than Obama? I doubt it.
No chance.
We were cool with the no chance. We were cool
You
with
ain't that libertarian.
That's not it. That's not it. It's because you are cucked to the regime and you don't even know it, and that's why you can't lead. So.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. We do have a couple more things to get into. That should have been the end of it, but I know that there were some people who were here for another topic entirely, and we've made them wait this long, but I did not bury the Chase and cop lead until the very end. We did get to that, thankfully, before everybody bailed or slit their wrists. But now I'm looking for the very important outro to this. Here we go. This has been Chase and Cop.
Chase. Chase. Chase, 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 chase.
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 Now, thank you. Lest ye believe that because we are not pro-Kamala, we are not pro-Chase, we must be pro-Donald Trump. Let's talk a little bit about the right-wing faction of this plane of two wings that are both crashing together on the same plane, and I would just blow my brains out if I had to vote for either one of them. Let's talk about the right wing of that, which is currently facing some inner turmoil because, we've talked about Donald Trump's beautiful uprising, which almost seems too good to be true, his underdog story. Now he's getting a little bit of pushback because some people are also thinking that it seems a little too fake, maybe just not enough. Maybe not the energy of 2016 Donald Trump that got a lot of people, not me, to vote for him. Nick Fuentes has come out and announced, if you're not familiar, Nick Fuentes is the demon of the internet who has said some spicy things, and you can agree with some and disagree with others, and it doesn't fucking matter. He's not going to crawl out from under your bed and anti-Semitically stab you, okay? Nick Fuentes has a very large following, and he has said some things about Donald Trump, which I think the fact that he's even saying these things about Donald Trump kind of throws a wrench into the works of the people who have crafted narratives about Donald Trump, about Nick Fuentes in the past. I know it doesn't matter because it's been 3 days since they had those narratives, and they will change like the wind, but here's what Nick had to say about Donald Trump's campaign. Nope.
The only language that the political parties, which are completely corrupt, understand is elections and voting. You can complain. You can whine. You can express your dissatisfaction. But as long as you hold your nose every election and vote for the lesser of two evils, you will always get a variety of evil. As long as you are the one sucking it up and you are the ones making the compromises, as long as you are the one telling yourself that your priorities will be dealt with later and deferred to some other time in the indefinite future, you will always be suckered and scammed and betrayed by the party you vote for. And that is what has happened, sadly, to the Trump movement, like the Tea Party before that, and like Republicans before that, for generations and for decades. It is why we have had Republican presidents for 12 out of the past 24 years, but you wouldn't know it. It is why we have controlled the House and the Senate off and on for the majority of the past 24 years, and everything seems to be getting worse. And we cannot point to one tangible victory on a single major policy category, from immigration to war to the economy to healthcare or anything else. It is because Republicans get elected first, and the priorities of the base and the constituents will be deferred until later, every single time. The only language that they will understand, the only way that we can get the Republican Party and the Trump movement to get the message, is to turn over the table and change the order of how these things work. Our priorities will be heard first. Our votes will come second. We will be heard. We will be listened to. We will be acknowledged. They will make promises and commitments, rock solid, that they will deliver on specific things, and only then will we vote. Only then will we make a commitment to volunteer, and only then will we bring the meager resources that we have to get them elected. No longer will they get the privilege and the power of holding elected office and dispersing and dispensing patronage, jobs, and money without delivering to the American people. And that is why last week I announced my intention, and tonight am formally declaring war on the Donald Trump campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, again, well, you don't have to like the guy. You don't even have to like what he stands for, but this is what the Libertarian Party should be doing. And please go ahead and take that out of context. The Libertarian Party should be doing more of what, well, some of them are trying, but the Libertarian Party in general should be doing more of what Nick Fuentes is doing. Not good enough to anybody. I think there's another clip here where he talks about if Donald Trump changes his mind on some of these things, if Donald Trump backpedals on like his undying love for financial aid to Israel, if Donald Trump backpedals on whatever. Like, if Donald Trump gets his shit together, great, I'll support him. Kind of like what Angela was doing with the convention. Like, that's what more libertarians, the ones that were screeching about Angela endorsing Donald Trump when she had him there to hold his feet to the libertarian fire, and y'all just fucking lost your shit instead of actually holding his feet to the fire and saying, hey, we're not enemies if you agree with us on points A, B, and C. Like, you can earn our vote if you do something decent. And that is really all that matters in politics. It doesn't matter what Nick Fuentes believes. It matters that he is saying, hey, guy that I supported, it's not good enough. Kyle Rittenhouse did the same thing. I'm not like a big, I'm not a Nick Fuentes stan or anything. But it's fun times that we live in, because not only did he make this call out, he's like getting all of his rabid griper dogs, getting their leashes ready to show up at different events and just make a ruckus or whatever. But I don't know. What do you think, Dave? I've heard reasons not to trust anything this guy says, because he was like one of two people that insisted that people go into the Capitol on January 6th, and he has not been arrested, which I just recently found out. Actually, I didn't know that. It makes me trust him a whole lot less than any allegations of racism. But
it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, I was just listening to Dave Smith was just on Tucker again. I think he might be the only guy who's been on there twice. I'm not sure. Check that out.
Yeah.
But he was just on, and Tucker said, "Oh yeah, there were only 2 people." Like he didn't mention him by name, but I think they're beefing, and I think they even had a little Twitter back and forth.
Yep.
And it's funny. It's like the Spider-Man meme. It's like Tucker insinuating that Nick Fuentes is a Fed, and Nick Fuentes insinuating that Tucker is a Fed because his father has been in the CIA. You tried to get in the CIA.
Beautiful.
It's so you guys need to just. This is actually.
I've said the same
great.
thing about both of them. So let them go at each other, please.
Right. One of you guys, the odds of neither of you being a Fed is fucking crazy. So, let's get it on.
We'll see who wins out in the end. But so there's some trouble in paradise in MAGA land because his most avid supporters are kind of not impressed. They're less than enthused. And I don't know about you, Dave, but I look back on the days of the Nick Fuentes, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Kanye West campaign and think about what could have been. Because now we've got Milo Yiannopoulos threatening to dox all the groypers and saying that whatever, they're terrorists or whatever he's saying. But just going along with the narrative. And I don't trust any of these people, but I am very disappointed about what we lost when the drama dispute between Kanye West and Nick Fuentes and Milo Yiannopoulos. Definitely not 3 giant egos in one place when they decided to call it quits. Not that I would have voted for them or supported them, but I supported the idea of seeing where the fuck that goes. And I'm very sad that it's not there anymore.
Well, yeah, let me say this too, that nothing Nick Fuentes said in that was untrue. Everything he said was absolutely accurate. I don't love the... I think Kyle Rittenhouse had a little bit of a cooler, just approach. Hey, man, I don't think that you're great on this one issue. And, that's why I'm writing in Ron Paul. Now, I would say to both of those guys, since they're I feel like the MAGA movement has been pretty good to both of them. You could have maybe worded it better. Hey, I want to take a meeting with Trump so that I can get him to talk about these issues. And we should push him on these.
Less of a backpedal within 12 hours that you change your mind. If you said, if Donald Trump does not get better on gun control, I will be voting. I will be writing in Ron Paul. That would have been a smarter way to go. That he would have had an easier out.
Yeah, and everybody knows, Angela included, and Rand Paul. Trump responds to kindness. Remember that black interviewer was interviewing at the black college, and he was like, "I came in here, you weren't even nice. You didn't even say hello." I think if you're just nice and you're he might give you more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if, whether or not you like Nick Fuentes or agree with him on anything very much, obviously you got to agree with him on something to give a shit. But if he can get Donald Trump to, stop supporting wars that we shouldn't be involved in, that he supports very heavily right now, that Nick Fuentes is definitely against, it seems to be the biggest issue. And maybe, do something to stop the bleeding of immigration into the country that Nick Fuentes seems to be against. If Nick Fuentes can make any movements in that area to get Donald Trump to say, yeah, you're right, I'm going to actually try a little bit harder, or I'm going to, at the very least, try to be more entertaining, because that's really what we're all here for, to wake Donald Trump back up. It's like Eminem, ironically. Eminem, Donald Trump's biggest rival in the hip-hop community. Eminem really fell off over the years. He was like the spicy, fuck you guy back in the day, and then as album after album got cranked out of his asshole, he turned into the Donald Trump's a bitch guy. And my mom is fine. I shouldn't. I bought
his. I bought his album because I was like, maybe this is good. Maybe this is something like a.
I still haven't listened.
Oh, it's so awful. Not only is the music not good. I mean, he's got a couple cool verses, I guess, but not only is the overall album not good, but he's still rapping about oh, they try to cancel me for saying like, bro, no one is trying to cancel you.
Bro, nobody's even
not...
listening to you anymore. They're definitely not trying to cancel you.
Oh
They
my
don't care.
God. It's right.
You have paid your dues to the system. Nobody's coming for you. You're fine. Congratulations, Illuminati. Yeah, that to me is what. Yeah. Wait, what were we talking about? Who were we talking about before Eminem that I was comparing to Eminem? No. Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump has
different story.
He's made his album a couple times. He came out the gate and he's like, I've got this, I'm cool. And then we watched him. We have the fucking mug shot. We've got the explosion, the shot to the ear. We've got all that shit. And still he's just kind of like, meh. Now, I didn't even get to, where did it go? I know I had it here. We were supposed to play a clip from the Elon Musk interview. Did you catch the Elon Musk interview, Dave? Because that was a pretty big deal that we've completely glossed over.
We did, and not only just little bits of it.
Huh. Well, there was one clip in particular that I had pulled up. Let me see if I can pull it up here. While we do that, let me pull up instead. Let's see. Moving on from Nick Fuentes. Great. Challenge each other. Iron sharpens iron, even if both irons are retarded. Make them less retarded by fighting amongst themselves. That is the libertarian strategy. Now, this meme was released by Trump War Room, and it's been making a lot of stirs because it's very racist and controversial, people are saying. Dave, do you want to explain this meme while I try and find that clip that I was supposed to have ready?
What is this? The suburbs versus the hood? And what is the Trump War Room? I mean, who's responsible for that? I don't know.
Typically the War Room is like their campaign. Like there was the DeSantis War Room, and there's the Kamala War Room, I believe, or Kamala HQ. I think this is, let me see. It is the official War Room account of the 2024 Trump campaign. This account punches back 47 times harder. Yeah, 2 million followers. So
no, this is actually a bad meme. I mean, do whatever you have to do to win. This is politics, but this is shitty. And, the hood is the hood regardless of who's president. And it's, I don't know, I can't really see that picture, but if you live in a nice neighborhood, it's not going to be overtaken by fucking criminals when somebody else is elected president.
Yeah.
If you live in the hood, it will, odds are, always get worse. But whoever's president is not going to change what your neighborhood looks like.
Yeah. If your neighborhood, I think more he's referring to immigration shit, that the streets are flooded with immigrants. But
I don't know, man. I'll say this. I know that immigration shit's crazy, absolute crisis. And I live in a super liberal state. And there's a lot of Latino immigration here. Look, there's 4 taco joints right in this little jurisdiction. But it's not there's not a lot of crime. So it's not just people pouring over. I've never seen anything like that. Again, I don't live on a border town, but the way that they make it sound is, no matter where you live, you're going to be overrun by fucking criminals and they're going to be banging at your door and stuff. I don't know.
Now, I bring this up just because I have one question. Dave, you said this is a shitty meme, and a lot of people said that it's a racist meme. My question is, what is racist about this exactly?
Well,
hold on. Your neighborhood under Kamala, that's one picture, and it's got the streets flooded with people of different shades of brown. Your neighborhood under Kamala is that. Are we supposed to assume that that's bad, first of all? You're a racist if you think that that's bad. Now, on the other hand,
I don't want all those people in my street. I don't care who it is. I don't want all those people in the street.
Your neighborhood under Trump is just a fence with an American front porch with an American fence on it in a nice neighborhood. Why are we assuming that the owners of that property are white?
Well, the insinuation is...
Are you a racist if you assume that? If you assume either of those things, that black people flooding the streets are bad and a black person is not the owner of that house?
Yeah, I mean, that could have been the hood on the left too, but at the very least, they're saying that that there will be peace under Trump and chaos under Kamala, and that's just retarded.
Yeah, there were an awful lot of riots under Trump. All the BLM stuff happened under Trump, whether he takes credit for it or not. It did happen under Trump. So anyway, just thought that was a fun thing to bring up, and we'll end on this completely unrelated note. Here are some actual. This is the headline from at Tariq Nasheed. This is unrelated to the last one. Here are some actual political memes the Democrats are paying influencers to post on social media. Dave, I'm going to have you go ahead and describe to the audio listeners what we got here.
Things you niggas need to know before you vote. That's great. Who put this out?
Allegedly, this was posted by, or not posted, it was like leaked as it's something that Democrats are paying different influencers to share. I imagine influencers of a certain persuasion, but certain influencers are being encouraged and paid to share these, allegedly. So
listen, Blasian community, you need to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things you niggas need to know.
Number 1, Trump did not give you $1,200. The stimulus checks distributed in the United States during the COVID-19 pandemic were authorized by legislation passed by Congress and signed into law by the then President Donald Trump. While President Trump signed the legislation into law, it was Congress that drafted, debated, and passed these bills, making the checks a result of legislative action and executive approval rather than a unilateral action by the president. So what you're saying is, under Donald Trump, you did get a lot of money, but don't give Donald Trump credit for that. Give Joe Biden credit for anything. If you found a nickel on the street, it's because of Joe Biden under Joe Biden's administration. But Donald Trump did not send you that because technically it didn't come out of Donald Trump's pocket.
Now you niggas know.
That's right. At the bottom it says, it was a global pandemic, honey bun. That's why you got that free money.
Impeccable impression again, by the way.
Number 2, Kamala Harris is, in fact, black. Honestly, I'm not even sure why this matters to so many of you. Kamala Harris identifies as black. She is of mixed heritage with a mother from India and a father from Jamaica. Her father, Donald Harris, is of Donald? Kamala Harris's father's name is Donald, and he's Jamaican. Are you sure any of this is true? What are the odds of Kamala Harris's dad's first name being the same as Donald Trump? But whatever. I digress. Donald Trump is of Afro-Jamaican descent, which contributes to her black identity. Additionally, she has often spoken about her pride in her diverse heritage and how it has shaped her identity and perspectives. And then at the bottom it says, it actually doesn't matter if she was green. The other option is an orange racist felon who aims to be our dictator.
You went from black to Rechtenwald there. What would you do in my position?
Actually, Michael Rechtenwald talked with a slightly different cadence than you're familiar with, Dave. Perhaps you didn't pay attention to his campaign more than anybody else did.
Oh, that's actually pretty good, too.
Number 3, your vote doesn't matter. The popular vote influences the U.S. Electoral College by determining the winner in each state. Most states use a winner-take-all system where the candidate with the most votes gets all of the state's electoral votes. This makes the overall popular vote important but not decisive, as the Electoral College decides the presidency. Candidates focus on swing states to secure the necessary 270 electoral votes to win. And then at the bottom, even if your vote didn't matter, it doesn't hurt to use your voice anyway. So they're like, just so you know, your vote's dog shit. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of the message that I've been pushing all night. It's dog shit. It doesn't matter. But if you're gonna vote, you might as well vote for our guy. That's where we part ways. Me and the N words for Kamala. Your vote doesn't matter. That's what they're going with. There's two more. Kamala Harris did not lock up thousands of black men. We're just going to say that she didn't. I'm sure all of that is very grounded in reality. We'll just read the bottom. Presidential candidates aren't perfect, but at least is one word, by the way, at least know the facts.
Right.
Just
She
know the
didn't lock
facts.
up thousands of black men. She locked up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of black men, though.
She did not lock up thousands of black men. She locked up tens of thousands of black men. It's different.
They were Blasian.
And then finally, Agenda 47 is not for your black ass. At the bottom it says, Agenda 47 is directly from the Trump administration. What was it before? Agenda 25? Now we're on to Agenda 47?
What's
I don't
47?
know. I don't
What's
know.
that?
I don't know anymore. I've lost the plot. I don't even know what the conspiracies are, or but just know that whatever the fuck it is, it's not for your black ass, Dave. Ain't for your black ass.
Oh, blacker the president, sweeter the juice.
Yep. But, Donald Trump posting something where you assumed that there wasn't a black person in the nice house, and you assumed that people don't want to live on streets full of immigrants. That's racist.
I definitely don't want to live where there's anybody outside of my house in groups like that at all.
Dave, I don't
Of
want
any
to live
color.
in either of these places because I don't want to live anymore.
Oh, you need a little dose of rainbow.
Just kidding. This has been a fun episode. It's been fun,
Yeah.
Dave. It seems like a happy, cheery way to end it and jump over into Freak of the Week.
Yeah.
You got any final thoughts? Where can people find you? Whatever you got. I was supposed to make this shorter. I had to cut out like 12 different things to make it only 2 hours and 10 minutes long. So thank you all for
Wild.
being here and sticking around. But Dave, any recaps or thoughts on all of this nonsense?
It's great. I'm really, truly enjoying the clown show. It's crazy how rapidly things happen, coups and assassination attempts, and yeah, but to just have fun with chasing cop during it all is just, that's just laughing. I love playing the violin with you, dude, as the Titanic goes down. It's funny.
It has been fun.
And,
It has been a
yeah.
pleasure playing with you all tonight.
Appreciate that very much.
Chase Oliver, incidentally, has said that many times in his life.
Has said what? About the violin on
It's
the
been a
Titanic?
pleasure playing with you all tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a great movie.
That's how he ends every orgy. But let's. You can follow me at TSIDPod on Twitter, or you can email me all your rage at dan@tsidpod.com and all that stuff. You can find me wherever the Systems Downs are sold. But we have to end this as we always do with therapy. Our 30 seconds of therapy with Steve. So this is where Steve questions us on. He interviews us on how we are, and we let him know.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me, what's going on?
Steve, I'm worried that I never even processed 9/11, let alone COVID. What am I supposed to do when I gotta compound all
Jesse
that?
Ventura is voting for Kamala Harris. That's one of the articles that was cut tonight. Jesse Ventura is voting for Kamala Harris, which makes me question whether or not 9/11 even happened at this point. Branching off of Dave's thought, like even if the conspiracy theorists, if the libertarians, if everybody's voting for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or even Chase Oliver, where does that leave me? Does that leave me homeless, Dave? Am I just a hobo? Am I even allowed to say hobo anymore under Kamala Harris's administration?
Kamala Harris said that her favorite rapper alive was Tupac. She graduated
who?
college in 1986. She's an obvious liar, and she would lock him up in jail. She doesn't even smoke any weed. She's the
Who's her
lying
favorite?
bitch.
Who was her favorite rapper? Was it Tupac?
Favorite rapper alive, Tupac. She said that in 2020.
That's because she got
Triggered
fucked
me.
by Tupac's ghost. But, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do to climb the ladders of power. But thank you, Dave, for being here. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you all in the comments for hanging out. I'm sorry, I don't know if you had any comments worth a damn because I didn't read them. But thanks for being here and doing the thing. We will absolutely try to pretend to read more comments in the after party, which is the Freak of the Week, where we will be seeing if anybody can finally knock that beautiful and brave individual out of power. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go to patreon.com/The System Is Down to find out, and we will do some of that momentarily. Thank you for hanging. Dave, thank you for hanging. And, yeah, I guess, I don't know if I'm allowed to say stay weird, but, or if that means that I'm voting for Trump. But regardless, be bad, have fun, question everything, stay uncomfortable, and we'll talk to you guys when we do, which could be right now in the Downers Club.
You'll send $5 to Smotz right now.
Do it.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here is how the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.